Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
On this channel, we will continue the hunt. The hunt for
For the
Ben Solo.
the hunt for Ben
The
Solo.
hunt for Ben Solo, because we have now gotten some additional news about the movie that never was. First up, we know Rebecca Blunt was the screenwriter, so it had a screenwriter attached. Scott Z. Burns was paid more than any other screenwriter in Lucasfilm history to complete the script. Yes, this was a completed script. Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, Carrie Beck, they were all directly involved throughout the development of the script. The film had a final script, it had a budget, it was ready to start filming before Disney rejected it.
When I initially read the article for this, I was kind of under the impression Kennedy called Adam Driver. Adam Driver's like, "Oh, this is cool. Let's kind of work something up." He went and got his friend and they made a script and they took it back to Lucasfilm and they liked it, and then Disney killed it right away. Not that there was
No.
this big production going on. They were actually pushing this thing and it was going to happen.
Right, this all started in the Associated Press. They did an interview with Driver where he mentioned the hunt for Ben Solo. And it's crazy because they can now confirm the film advanced far beyond in development than we originally thought. It had a completed script, the full creative stamp of approval from Lucasfilm, including Kathleen Kennedy. They were all on board. This was going forward. It was greenlit internally. They gave it to Disney to read over because I guess they have the final say. Executives Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, and they're the ones who nixed it.
What I don't understand about that is how did they not cancel it sooner? You would think they would be ground level, okay, as soon as we know Adam Driver is on board and we're gonna do a script, don't you go to Disney and be like, "Hey, we want to greenlight this thing," instead of having the whole script done, everything ready to go, and then you go to Disney?
It's weird because it feels like Lucasfilm should almost be able to function autonomously within Disney, but it might be that they have to have a completed everything and then they just throw the last pitch to them. Like Lucasfilm greenlights everything and then they just throw it at Disney like, "Here, this is it, it's done, just stamp it, we're good." And they turn around and go, "No, we're not good." I feel like they get the flyby of the very last stages of everything. They trust the studios. I'm sure Marvel does the same thing. Kevin Feige does the projects. And then the final thing they do is throw it to Disney execs and just expect them to get a yes, okay, good. And
See,
that didn't happen.
I would think it's the opposite. I would think you would go to Disney before you really do anything because you don't want to waste all this time and money because Disney controls the money. Disney has the final say. So you would think you would want to go to them first and get their approval before you really start putting time, money, and effort into something.
At the same time, though, they did buy completed studios. Lucasfilm and Marvel completed studios capable of making their own decisions. And it's why didn't Disney just say yes? Because maybe they'd expect it to. Maybe that's just how the chain of command works, is they come up with all this, and at the final stage, they're just like, "Here, look at this. This is what we're doing." But sources are saying this wasn't a loose concept. This wasn't early pitch. This was under the operating codename already of Quiet Leaves. There was a finalized screenplay. It was entering the early prep and staffing.
Yeah, which is why I'm not sure why you don't go to Disney first. I'm really confused by this. I understand what you're saying, that you would think that Disney would trust Lucasfilm to certainly a pretty large degree, right? That's Star Wars, that's what they do. So if they say this is good, we want to believe them.
Right.
So it's why wouldn't you just initially go, "Hey, this is the idea we're working on"? How did Disney not know? This is the current Star Wars movie we're working on. You would think that would be something Bob Iger would be made aware of pretty early on.
Maybe he just has a full plate. Like I said, we don't know what the chain of command actually looks like, but this seems sloppy. You're right. It doesn't make sense that they somehow got greenlit to pay Scott Z. Burns more than any other Lucasfilm screenwriter in history, and then to turn around and go, "Oh yeah, we're not doing that."
You would just think that Disney would know very early because you wouldn't want to run into this situation where you would put so much effort into something only for them to say no.
Insiders are saying Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, Carrie Beck, they were involved through the whole thing. They were enthusiastic about all the drafts that came in. Story Group was waiting for the project to be ready to shoot before they presented it to Disney. The final script was presented with the budget, with the proposed start date. They were delivered to Disney. It is the first time that Lucasfilm has ever presented a fully approved project that did not move forward. Everything that they've ever put forward has gone forward. Disney has been like, "Oh yeah, this looks great, go ahead." This is the one time they turned around and said, "Yeah, no."
I mean, my theory was that Disney looked at this and what we've heard they said, Ben Solo, isn't he dead? Didn't he die at the end of The Rise of
Mhm.
Skywalker? Why is he back alive? Didn't everybody laugh at us that we brought back Palpatine somehow? So aren't
Yeah.
they going to laugh at us again for somehow bringing back Ben Solo?
Well, they actually address this. Sources are saying that Bergman took an unusually long time reading that script, and that when he and Iger finally responded, their primary concern was, as you said, narrative continuity. They were specifically uncertain as to how Ben Solo could be alive following the rise of Skywalker. And apparently, that reaction of theirs of why is he alive surprised Lucasfilm. They felt that the story's logic was clear and creatively sound. They're saying that they believe that this was somehow politically motivated because Bergman is, of course, trying to go for a successor to Bob Iger, and somehow with all of what's going on with that,
Why would
I,
that have anything to do with it, though?
I don't know, because Bergman's handling these high profile initiatives, but he's getting some internal criticism. So it could be why he was like, yeah, let's not do this. Maybe he was scared off. Like, I don't
I
want to put
guess
something
so.
out there and have my name on it now when I'm running for Bob Iger's position. And then turns around and everyone's like, no, this is bad. Don't do it. Why did you do it?
I still think this whole thing just seems really strange
Hmm.
to get canceled last minute by Disney when they should have been brought on board early. I would just think that periodically Lucasfilm would send a sort of progress report like, this is what we're
Yeah.
working on. This is what we're doing. Is everything okay? Do you want us to go ahead with this or not? I just think there would be more communication than like, hey, we
Hmm.
got this whole thing ready to go. Are you okay with it? And then they're like, no.
Well, according to the reports, this is the first time that they've come to them and said, hey, we have everything ready to go. That they've said, well, no.
Weird.
That every other project that they have brought forward, they've been like, absolutely, do it, make it happen. This is the first time that they've gotten there with their project. And they're like, isn't that guy dead?
I mean, they're not
They're
wrong
not.
though.
They're not wrong.
They're not
No,
wrong. Like I
but
actually kind of agree
Lucasfilm,
with
they
that.
claimed that this script had an explanation that they thought was story sound.
We mean they were going to explain it in the movie, actually. What a concept that
Yeah,
is.
it didn't just say somehow.
Maybe that's the
We
problem
we
was.
greenlit somehow, but we
No, they
didn't greenlit some sort of an explanation.
maybe they went with somehow again, like, hey, it worked in The Rise of Skywalker, so we're just going to say somehow, and that covers how he
Somehow.
returned.
Fans have been speculating, of course, that Adam Driver talking about the project, finally letting the cat out of the bag, has been a ploy to get the project to happen.
Could be.
Could be. Interestingly enough, this is kind of a funny story. On Thursday, there was a plane carrying a banner saying "Save hashtag the hunt for Solo" that flew over Burbank.
Hunt for Ben Solo, right? Not
Yes, the
not the
hunt for
other.
Ben
Yeah,
Solo.
don't save the Solo movie.
Sorry, don't know. We're okay.
That's okay. We let that die.
And there are some petitions, of course, because the petitions always start up on change.org going, hey, come on now, make the hunt for Ben Solo. They don't have much attention. You looked at that for me.
No, they really don't. There were like a couple hundred people or something like that. It was
Yeah,
pretty small.
under 5,000 for sure.
Yeah, I'll put the total up if I remember to here. It wasn't impressive. I don't know.
I
I don't know that there's a ton of people who really like. I made a video yesterday on my channel. Like, I think a lot of people sequel trilogy not
mm-hmm.
interested.
Well, allegedly, Adam Driver and his friend who worked on with him, Soderbergh, didn't get paid anything for the work that they put in on this. Whereas, like I said, Burns got somewhere in a 7-figure
Holy
deal
cow!
for this. Yes, they had something going. I want to see what they had.
I want to know
I
what
want
they
to
had. I don't know that
know.
I needed to see it. I want to know what it was. Give
Release
me,
the script. It was a finished script. Release it.
yeah,
We all want to know what it
make it into a
was.
book. Turn the script into a book. At least get something out of it.
But then somehow Ben Solo will have come back.
Well, you could just say it's a what if story. To
I'd
the
be okay with that. I'd be okay. But I want to know what happened. I want to know what it actually said. The NDAs and stuff are gone. Does Lucasfilm have permission? Can they release this?
they should go ask Disney. Disney would be like, no,
No, we don't want to look
no.
any more bad because now that it's out, they know that they're getting flack for this.
I don't know. Some people, I've seen both sides. I haven't looked too much into response, but the main response I have seen, at least, is most people saying, "Nah, you shouldn't have done this." That
Hmm.
I don't know.
I'm still interested. I would like to know what would have been.
No, I want to know what would have been. I'd love to get my hands on that script and
Yeah.
see how they were going to bring it back somehow.
As horrible as it sounds, if I could have picked one of those characters to survive the sequel trilogies, I would have picked him over Ray.
I would, if I had to pick a Ray or a Ben Solo movie, even though Ben Solo died, and I'm like, we should
Hmm.
stop bringing back dead characters, even if you have really good explanations. I'd pick Ben Solo. That's gonna be all we got for you this time. Your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think about all of this Ben Solo news. Whatever the case may be, leave your comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.